Hold your horses, everybody. This is not real. This is not happening. This is just a quick discussion. Because I saw this article on the Toronto Sun, of all sources, talking about what a potential Los Angeles Kings Toronto Maple Leafs trade could look like. I know we've gone over a few of these. I've given my opinions on Nylander and the Carolina Hurricanes. I've talked about Nylander and the Canucks twice to a whole bunch of dismay. I've talked about Nylander to the Wild because that popped up. This is on the Toronto Sun. This was uploaded by Steve Simmons 2 days ago on the 27th of October. This is an article talking about Patrick Marleau and the contract situation of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but later in this article, on the This and That segment, there was a very interesting piece of journalism right here. If you're the Los Angeles Kings, and you're slow, and you're lacking offense and youth, and you desperately need change, aren't you camping out and trying to work a deal for Nylander? And maybe Gardiner? Let's take a look at the Kings for a minute. They are 3-7-1 at the moment. They are last in the Pacific Division, and they're a team that hasn't really been getting it done on the score sheet all too much. They won against New York yesterday 4-3, but other than that, a lot of their recent games have just been a 4-1 loss to the Wild, a 4-2 loss to the Stars, 5-1 against Buffalo, 7-2 against the Islanders. The Kings have not been good this season, and offense is really something that they've been needing to get, which is why this article over here by Steve Simmons talks about Nylander and Gardiner to the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for Drew Doughty. Crazy as it sounds, and I've never been one of these talk radio trade proposal guys, if I'm Kyle Dubas, I'm going to inquire about getting Drew Doughty to waive his no-trade clause and see if you get him in some kind of sign-and-trade for Nylander and Gardiner. Now, hold your horses, everybody watching this video. The next sentence, I know it won't happen. At least I assume it won't, but that's the kind of deal that would actually help both teams. And if I'm gonna be honest here, this doesn't sound really all that bad. For sure, in my opinion, LA says no. This is one of the only trade proposals that has been made by an NHL journalist in a high-profile public position that I'm looking at and I'm saying, yeah, the other team is the one that says no for this one. I'm gonna be honest here. With Carolina, I kind of formulated my own opinions. That doesn't really count. For Minnesota, Toronto says no for that Nylander for Niederreiter and Spurgeon deal. This one, I kind of think it's the Kings. They're the ones saying no here because imagine if this does go through. It's Nylander and Gardiner for Drew Doughty, assuming everything goes in the direction that steers this trade forward. Toronto just gets exponentially better. And that's no disrespect to Jake Gardiner and everything that he's done with the Leafs. It's just that Doughty is better. Doughty is one of the best defensemen in the league, arguably the best. It's not like they're losing out on anything with Nylander because Nylander's not even playing for the team. Them trading Nylander is literally not changing this team because he is not playing on the team today. They've already been winning games without Nylander. And I know Matthews is gone too, but Tavares is going to step things up. Marner's going to step things up. We're expecting that out of this team. If we trade this, Gardiner and Nylander over to LA for Doughty, my goodness, just incredible. Having Doughty and Tavares leading the charge in this team, isn't that just an absolutely beautiful thought? That is Team Canada right there. That is so deadly. Alongside of the guys that they already have. Matthews when he comes back, Marner, Kadri, and all of that. This team would be in such a good position. And going over to the LA Kings point of view, I don't know if they'd like to lose Doughty, but Gardiner is a guy who could help with the offense. Nylander is a guy who could help with the offense. Imagine having Nylander and Kovalchuk playing on the same line some way or another. With Kopitar down the middle, Jeff Carter is still there as well. Gardiner feeding the puck up. This would be a very huge shift in the direction of the LA Kings. First off, because they're getting rid of Drew Doughty, but secondly, because Gardiner is in a contract year. Nylander is a guy who's very young, will still be able to produce points for years to come, and LA might be able to get over that hump that they've been facing here at the beginning of the season so far. But obviously, I mentioned it in the article, it's probably not going to happen. In real life, this is probably not going to happen. In my opinion, LA says no, but I was just talking about this to bring up this idea brought to us by Simmons here on the Toronto Sun, and overall, I think it's not necessarily the worst one we've had. We've seen some that have a whole bunch of other names, but this one over here, even though it does have a lot of high-profile guys in there, I don't think this one is the worst one we've seen. And I know a lot of people are really tired about seeing these videos pop up, but they're interesting. These are some very unique perspectives that are being brought to the table, and I know there isn't any sense of truth to any of this, but it's just fun to talk about. See what happens. Imagine a power play with Riley, Doughty, Tavares, Marner, and Austin Matthews when he gets back. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. It's not going to happen, but that would be amazing if it did. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. You're blessing the Toronto Sun Gaming, and bye.